What's good, planty peeps? My name is Lily and welcome to Peace Lily Plants. Today we're going to be repotting some stuff. Probably going to be a pretty long video, so I like to watch videos like this when either A, I myself am doing plant chores, like watering, if I could not stutter, like watering plants and repotting and doing stuff like that. Or number two, or well, did I say A or number one? B/number two. I like to watch videos like these when I'm just sitting on the couch, so tired, just need something chill. So we're actually going to be talking a little bit about that kind of subject, or well, it'll make sense in a minute. But before we dive right into it, go ahead and like this video. You haven't watched it, but it's pretty chill, or well, it's probably going to be pretty chill, so you're probably going to like it. And subscribe to my channel for more planting content. So today we have several things that we're going to repot. A couple things that have outgrown their pot, a couple things that are in nursery pots, and one propagation. So we'll get right into it. And the first thing that we're going to go for is, whoops, tangled up with the other stuff, this string of hearts, because I'll try to show you here. The roots are coming out the bottom, so I think it's ready to go a size up. And the hearts aren't microscopic, but they're not as big as they could be. Like you see over here, there's some bigger ones, and then these aren't that big. And I'm wondering to myself if it is root bound, and maybe if it gets in a pot with more room, maybe the hearts will start to get big again. I don't know if that's a thing that happens, but we shall see. So over here, I am grabbing a bucket of soil, and here we have an empty bucket, which will serve to unpot things, because I probably could reuse some soil. Like, it probably wouldn't hurt anything because there's nothing wrong with the plant, but that's just not really my jam. We're gonna reach over and carefully get a sip of coffee here. Got a few pots that I could potentially use for this, and I can never quite tell what I'm gonna need until I really get a look at the roots and just kind of experiment with putting it in different sizes and see where does it fit the best. And we're gonna have to be really careful with this string of, because these are kind of sensitive plants. Let me turn off my wheelchair before I accidentally roll into something. Let's see, just gently trying to nudge it out of the pot here. Don't want to pull too hard. Might have to use the spoon to loosen things up a bit. Alright, gonna set the pot over to the side for a moment. This does have quite a lot of roots. I'm not gonna break it up too vigorously, but just loosen it up a bit. Isn't that lovely? So today, I was talking about how we're gonna be getting back to the subject of sitting on the couch, too tired to do anything. The other day, I saw a meme on social media, and I've seen it before, but I shared it again because I still really liked it. And it said, if you don't make time for your wellness, you will be forced to make time for your illness. That is so true. Part of my disability, Friedreich's ataxia, is chronic fatigue. I feel like I'm always acting like it's not part of my disability. Because I never feel justified to just sit around and rest, even though that's probably what my body needs sometimes. I always feel like I should be being productive, you know. Why should I sit on the couch and watch YouTube and do nothing when I could be over at my computer editing a video, or I could be shooting a video, or doing a lot of volunteer work or my paid work for the newspaper that I do in addition to my YouTube stuff. So here is what we're working with. I broke it up a bit, but I'm not sorry my voice, but I'm not going to, like I said, do it too vigorously. I don't want to traumatize it too much. Let's test out, now that we've got it out and we see the size of the root ball, let's see if it will fit nicely in this, or if we will need to go a size more than this. So, not gonna do it this way, just kind of sitting it down to see. I should go one higher than this because it will fit in here, but it's still taking up almost the entire pot. And I'm like, should I just go ahead and put it in one that it really will have room for 6 months or a year to grow more roots? So here we have a pot. It's got some stuff in it that I'm gonna sit aside. Now let's see how it looks sitting down in here. It's a little big, but the roots on this are so well established that I think it can handle it. You know, if it was a really puny root system, then I feel very wary of putting it in a pot that might be too big because the roots could easily rot. But I think that these will be fine. Today, I woke up feeling very, very tired. I laid in bed for probably an hour trying to work up the willpower to get up because I was just exhausted, just had that feeling, and I don't know, does everybody feel this way, or is it a chronic fatigue thing? Just that feeling almost like you got hit by a bus or something, like you just cannot get up. You're so tired. I finally did manage to get up, and I'm shooting this video. But I'm thinking to myself that if I still feel really tired after this, I might just go sit on the couch and watch plant videos instead of trying to force myself to work through it like I usually do. But oh yeah, I was talking about the meme on Facebook. Well, I didn't say on Facebook, I said social media. It was on Facebook. That is true, because there have been times where I pushed through the fatigue, forced myself to be productive, and then ended up feeling horrible, like as if I was about to get sick. And then I was forced to sit on the couch and chill, and I would end up feeling regret and thinking to myself that had I chosen to sit on the couch when my body was telling me that it was tired and it needed rest, then it would have been not as what is the right adjective? Not as crappy as having to sit there because my body forced me to stop. And then it was funny because there is this really contrarian guy on my Facebook And it would be really funny if he watched this video and heard me talking about him and calling him a contrarian. So if you're watching this, hi. He commented and he was like, you have to be rich to go to a doctor. And I was like, that, you know, I see the grain of truth in that healthcare in the US is insane. At the same time, wellness is a lot more than just going to the doctor. But he did raise an interesting point that goes through my mind about the nuance of privilege versus personal responsibility. And we'll get back to that in a moment here. The ways that I try to be well, quote unquote, are to work out a lot. As you can see, I do work out a lot. Let's see, let's hold it up here. Maybe just a handful more soil. I think I'm gonna call this one done. Turn it around a bit so you can see from the front. Good to go. And hopefully it's gonna really have a lot of success in this pot. Be able to grow more and more and more roots. Get really big. Next up, we have this little monstera, adansonii. And it's got a lot of roots coming out of the bottom. So I don't think it'll be any issue to repot this one. And since we can squeeze a nursery pot, whereas we couldn't squeeze the other pot just now, I'm going to try to squeeze this baby out. The roots are really coming out of the bottom though, so I'm wondering if it's going to be stuck a little bit. So yeah, I've been working out for about a decade now. Actually, on my Facebook memories, it popped up that 9 years ago, 9 years, I had posted my first day with a personal trainer. I was like, oh my gosh, it's been almost an entire decade that I've been consistently working out. And I certainly don't have a great diet by any means, but I have been trying to get better. One thing that I've done is I've started to have this, golly, is this pot too small or is this gonna be good? It's a tight fit, y'all. I wonder if that other one that I had the string of hearts in before is better. Yeah, I think it's gonna have more room to flourish in this pot. One thing I've started to do for a snack is I get my mom to help me cut up apple slices and cheese, and she has some sort of process that she does with the apple slices. I can put it in the comments or in the description of the video in case if like 1 or 2 people are interested. What she does to them makes them be good for several days, cause apple slices can get weird and brown and too soft. She soaks them somehow in salt water and it makes them be really fresh and crisp and almost as if you're eating like banana chips or something, but they're apple chips. A lot of times when I am getting hungry throughout the day, instead of going and eating a bag of chips or some cookies or something that won't even really satisfy my hunger anyway, I am going and eating the apples and cheese, and I've been feeling good. I mean, you know, it might be placebo effect. Like, because I'm eating a little bit healthier snacks, I am thinking in my mind that I feel better. when maybe I feel exactly the same. But it is good to eat apples and to eat fruits and veggies and other things that are good for you, that feed your body the nutrients it so desperately needs. So I try to take care of my wellness. And then there's spiritual wellness as well. Whether you are religious, I am a Christian and I'm involved in church, or whether you just consider yourself to be spiritual, quote unquote, maybe you do yoga and meditation and that kind of thing. Mental and spiritual wellness is important as well. I always thought it was so interesting that for my insurance one time, I had to fill out this thing that assessed my wellness, and part of the survey was asking questions like, do you feel that you know your purpose in life? So, I mean, even objectively, I guess, doctors agree that spiritual wellness is important to your overall wellness. And isn't it interesting how the state of your soul and your mind and your heart affects your physical being? I think this girl is done. Might do just a couple more scoops of soil to for good measure, you know. Yay! So we'll set this over here. My hands are getting weird again. Alright, let's take a sip of coffee. How much soil have we spilt? Not much yet, but we still have miles to go. Let's look at something kind of fun here. Because I have Monstera deliciosa in my tattoo here, I am growing some monstera adansonii to eventually give to my tattoo artist. And I'm thinking that maybe one of these pieces might have enough roots to propagate by this point, because this has been propagating in water for about a month. Oh Lord, everything is all tangled together. And you know what's cool? My version of this plant, not the one I just repotted, but another one that I have back there, it all came from propagations from Joey's monstera adansonii. And now I'm propagating it for someone else, so it feels like a full circle moment. So let's see, the roots on this one are pretty good. And we'll check on this one and maybe just go with whichever one looks better. This has 3 roots, whereas that one only has 2. So I'm sure either one would be fine. But just for the sake of having the best chance of success, we're gonna go with the one that has 3 roots and let the one with 2 roots keep chilling for a while. I think that it would fit well in this tiny little pot. And this is the last one I have of this size, so I gotta get some more. The thing is, I had went crazy with the pottery for a while. Like every time I went plant shopping, I would buy more pottery. And then I had way too much pottery, so I chilled out for a while. And now I am back in that spot of needing to get some more. When the guy commented about you have to be rich to go to the doctor, one thing that he was alluding to, and I don't even know if he knows that he was alluding to this, but so many things boil down to privilege, and there's a nuance of privilege versus personal responsibility. On the one hand, me choosing to take care of my body and work out, me choosing to try to eat healthy foods, me choosing to try to get enough rest, personal responsibility. But then privilege plays into it as well. Privilege to not live in a food desert, or to be able to afford or have time or whatever to buy or cook or whatever healthy food. The money to pay a trainer, and the time and the vehicle and all of that to drive to the training. It gets even more complicated, or well, I don't know if I should say it gets more complicated, but it's also that complicated with people with disabilities in general. I put a little soil in here. I'm just gonna sit this here and pile some more around it. It's easy for me to look at other people who have my disability and they don't work out or they don't eat healthy. You know, either they're as tiny as a feather or they're obese. So I can tell that they're not really taking care of themselves the way that I take care of myself. Like, on the one hand, I feel a little bit judgmental, and I think, you know, maybe you can tell everyone else in your life, oh, I just don't have the energy or the ability to try to help myself whatsoever. But me, I have this disease, so I'm the one person that you can't feed excuses to. I know that you can push yourself and you can make better choices if you really want to. But then again, what if they're not as privileged as me? What if they weren't born into as good of a family and financial situation? What if they don't have the resources and the capabilities that I have? And the support system. So, again, that nuance. Oh, I'm just talking away and you can't see what I'm doing, but I hope that you're entertained by the stuff I'm saying. Or not entertained, but, you know, hopefully it's making you think a little bit. There's such nuance to it. And I still feel that when FA people don't push themselves, I still feel a little judgmental in my heart, to be honest. And I think to myself, you're making your disability worse on yourself by throwing up your hands to the air and say, I give up on myself. I'm not gonna try to do anything to make my life easier or better. But I do have to bear in the back of my mind that they may not be blessed in all the same ways that I am. That may affect how hard they can push themselves, or in what ways they can push themselves, etc. So let's see, we're almost done with this one. Just a little bit more soil. That is so darn cute. Oh my gosh. There is one more that I'd like to look at. And by the way, my AC has been broken for 2 days. So this is a Marble Queen pothos. And as you can see, I'm sure, it always looks a little bit sad. I'm wondering to myself, is it because it's root bound? Because that is something that can happen. A plant can start looking sad a lot if it needs a bigger pot. So let's experiment and see what's going on in the pot with this guy. So as with the others, we're just gonna try to dump it out here, but I might use the spoon. Where did it go? Alrighty, I think that's the answer to that question. The girl is root bound, and that is why she always looks a little bit sad. So let's give her a pot where she can flourish and see if she perks up. What is that white stuff? That is disgusting. Maybe. Or what is it? Some kind of plastic. Oh, okay. My mom had this somewhat goofy theory. Sorry, Mom, I don't mean that in a bad way. But somewhat goofy theory that if you put a few pieces of plastic at the bottom of a pot with no drainage hole, then that would give, I'm trying to think of the right way to phrase it, that would kind of block the roots from soaking in the water, but I don't know, it just looked funny because the roots grew all around the plastic. This is a healthy girl, but she needs a new home, stat. First of all, let's see if it will go in here because that would be really exciting because I love this pot. Let's see. Spain hand-painted ceramics. Villam. Wow, I'm dumb. I realized what it was after I started spelling it. It's villaimports.com. So VILLAIMPORTS.com. And I bought it from Christmas tree shops for $5.99. I love this pot, and my silver peace lily is also in a hand painted pot that's same brand, came from the same place. And I absolutely love that one too. Let me get one that is a size up and try that one as well. I think it's gonna be better in this pot. It's gonna have more room to flourish and get bigger. So I think I can hold this with one hand and put in soil with the other hand. So I guess concluding my thoughts on the stuff I've said today, it's important for us all to remember that we all have advantages and disadvantages. You know, obviously being disabled is in and of itself a disadvantage. As a disabled person, I do have a lot of advantages, like a good support system, you know, people who love me. I have the ability to go see a trainer. I have the ability to eat healthy foods. But then again, it's like, well, even if I didn't have the money and the vehicle and all that to go see a trainer, couldn't I, you know, if I wanted to push myself, I could look up workout videos on YouTube, even from disabled people. I mean, you can look up anything nowadays. As I always say, bloom where you were planted, honey. And that applies to a lot of things, really, because it applies to just finding your happiness and your joy no matter where you are in life, no matter what your circumstances or your advantages and disadvantages are. My voice is getting really slurry. But also, you could apply it to what I've been talking about today. Whatever resources you have or don't have, you know, whether you're able to go see a trainer, whether you have a phone to watch workout videos on YouTube, whether you can eat healthy foods, or whether you could just simply eat less unhealthy food. And again, with the personal responsibility and privilege thing, I'm like, even if you're not privileged, does that justify you outright making horrible choices for yourself? Like, if you live in a food desert, does that justify the fact that you eat 10 Oreos a day when you could eat 5 Oreos a day and have half of the amount of sweets? So this is the new home for my marble queen. I do say she looks fabulous in this pot. But anyway, thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you for watching all the way to the end. Let me know if you enjoyed this, because I'm gonna have to get some more pottery and repot my global green pothos. I'm a very good at jade that I like to repot. And I just bought a Baltic Blue that's in a video from the other day that I'll need to repot. If you did enjoy this video where I'm just repotting stuff and talking about a certain subject, let me know, because I could kind of do this again with a different topic. Or if it was boring or whatever, then I can just repot that stuff on my own. We're gonna see after this, do I have energy to do more stuff today? Or do I need to prioritize my wellness and just sit down on the couch and chill for a bit? It's unfortunate that, you know, it's a privilege in and of itself just to be able to rest when you need to. Because so many people are, you know, working so much to try to make ends meet or whatever. So even being able to rest is a privilege. So I don't know, I guess there is a lot more to say on this topic, even though I've already been filming for over an hour. Thank you for watching. Please like this video, subscribe to my channel, and one more thing, wherever you are, whatever your circumstances, bloom where you were planted, honey. See you in the next one. Bye.